Fathima Benazir. I'm the co-founder and chief science officer of Azooka Labs Private Limited. I'm here to share my journey about Azooka. Azooka was started with a dream to create a billion people impact in molecular diagnostics. Started Azooka in 2015. I used to be a postdoctoral researcher in molecular biology at the Indian Institute of Sciences. I was always clueless about my career because the opportunities in the area of molecular biology and biotechnology are very limited in India, and most of the postdoctoral researchers from Indian Institute of Sciences go abroad for their careers. So while I was clueless, I happened to meet my co-founder Alex, who actually motivated me and inspired me to create impact from my years of research. A conversation with him actually changed my perception towards science and research itself. So he asked me a couple of questions which actually made me think about what I was doing at the lab for such a long time. So he asked me, "What do you do?" I said, I work in the lab, make experiments. What after that? We publish. What then? Maybe we target for better impact journals like Cell or Nature. Then what happens? Citations, that's it. So he asked me a question when we were having this conversation, saying that, "Are you trying to tell me you're burying your lifelong effort in big books?" So that really changed my perception of the research I was doing, and it was him who motivated me to build some products or to create impact from the work that I had been doing. And it was only after this conversation that the journey of Azooka began. With a dream of building molecular biology products, premium molecular biology products from India, we started Azooka in 2015, whereby we agreed that I will take care of the technology part and Alex will help me with the business. And we got incubated at Society for Innovation and Development in the Indian Institute of Sciences. So it took a lot of time for us to really convince the panel to believe in our idea and product, and that is how the journey began. And we started building our first minimal viable product, Tinto Rang, from 2013 itself. However, the incubation happened only in 2015, and as early as 2016, we started distributing samples to our customers. Ask me what is so special about Tinto Rang and the fluorophores that we have built. So it's actually a 30-year-old problem where we have solved, where all the competition that is available in the market, including Ethereum bromide and cyber, are cancer-causing, mutation-causing, and biohazardous. Tinto Rang is the world's first and only food-grade safe nucleic acid binding dye. So Tinto Rang is the first Indian molecular biology product, which is nothing but a fluorescent molecule that binds to nucleic acids like DNA and RNA, which forms the basis for any applications such as PCR and RT-PCR. So although when we started in 2015, the molecular biology penetration in India, or the molecular diagnostics penetration in India, was only 12%, and a lot of people did not understand what we were doing. Thanks to COVID, now everybody, even our grandmothers, know what RT-PCR is and the importance of it. So with Alex's help, we started building MVPs, and we filed our patents in 2016, which are now granted in 5 countries, including the USA, India, Japan, Korea, and India. China and Europe are pending. And we have taken, although we've been distributing samples as early as 2016 itself to our customers, we commercially launched the product in March 2020, right when the COVID pandemic hit us. So I think we got a real big break because of the pandemic, because who mandated that RT-PCR is going to be the gold standard for COVID testing. So we were deployed as part of the IAC's COVID-19 crisis management team, and within a span of 2 months, we came up with a safe molecular transport medium for the transport of COVID-19 samples, which was a real problem that India was facing. For countries like India and other low and middle income countries, there is always power outages, and samples have to be collected from remote places and transported to cities which had the facility for RT-PCR testing. So we wanted to actually solve this problem, and we made a molecular transport medium which requires zero power and zero contamination medium, whereby the collected samples can be stored and transported for up to 7 days at room temperature. ABCDs. Awards and grants. Being a deep tech startup, it's always good to apply for a lot of grants available from the Department of Science and Technology, Department of Biotechnology and BIRAC, because these grants help you validate your technology and also give you a good brand presence. So Azooka as such has won up to 3 crore in grants alone, which has helped us to take our products to the stage. My next A, of course, is audience. So it's very important for deep tech startups to engage with your audience from a very early stage. In fact, we started distributing samples and talking to our customers while we were developing Tinto Rang itself, although we failed several times and we had a lot of negative feedback. But this was very important for us to actually craft the product and address the problems while we were building the product itself. Most of the scientists and technologists have an ego where they feel that only if their product works very well in the lab, then they believe it's ready to go out. But I think one of my key learnings being with my team and Alex is that it's always important to talk to your customers, distribute sample to your customers, and do a win-loss analysis, primarily because you need to know what the customers like about you and don't like about you. So it's very important to build and talk to your audience while you're building the product itself. It actually shortens the cycle of product development in deep science startups. So keep engaging with your audience. And we also used to do something called a Science Saturdays, where we used to engage with students and do a lot of experiments with students, because they are going to be your future customers. So if they don't buy now, they will buy at a later stage. And one other thing that we also did right was started using a CRM and building our customer base in the CRM from day one. B for billion scale. Although billion scale or go home is a cliche, I think we should always aim and target a billion unit sales. However, we can achieve this target by breaking it down into 1 million, 10 million or 100 million targets. And it is also important to identify your local and global customers. So we took a targeted approach and tried to replace our competition, and that's why we could achieve a 1 million target in less than a year. C for culture in teams. I think the culture that you build in your team is very important. We were very fortunate to have advisors like Professor H.S. Savitri, M.R.N. Murthy and C.V. Nataraj and Usha Nataraj from day one. In fact, a lot of our products have been built in Professor Savitri's lab, and we have tried to replicate the exact culture of zero waste and high productivity in our own labs. And the other important culture that we've tried to really freedom is very important in product culture. So we give all our team members the freedom to fail. So we believe that if you haven't failed, you haven't tried at all. So it's always better to try new things and fail, which actually gives us a lot of insights to how our future products are going to be built. C again is for competition. So Azooka is the only fluorophore company from India. We identified our global and local competitions from day one, and we built and crafted our products to compete with our competition. We are better, faster and efficient when compared to all the other competition that is available globally, and we believe that our products are much superior and can be licensed to our competition. Our is for dedication. So research or science-based or deep tech-based product building has a lot of failures. So molecular biology, cell biology and all the high throughput devices and technologies come with a lot of failures. As researchers, we've always been exposed to these failures, and it's very important to embrace these failures and keep a larger vision in your mind, although there may be smaller pivots on the way. System play. So if you want to really take your product at a mass scale, you cannot build your own sales army big enough to actually achieve this target within a short span of time. So that's the reason we believe that we will build a good partner network and a distribution network to reach our customers at a much faster pace. So we have been successful in deploying the 1 million units within a short span of time, primarily because when you associate and engage with partners and distributors, the last mile delivery becomes much easier, and it also helps in support, engaging customers, and also a lot of pre-sales also is done by these partners. So before getting into entrepreneurship, or even before we started selling products, me being a scientist, I really didn't understand about what product pricing is, what distribution margins are, what credit and reward systems are, and yeah, of course, working capital or cash flow is something that we are actually facing now. So these are things that I really could not understand or didn't know as a scientist. But however, this 1 year of journey on the ground selling RNA wrapper has given me that learning. So it's very important, although you may believe that you have built a great product and the product is going to create wonders, but I think for a business to be successful, it's very important to understand all these parameters and strategies. A lot of products have failed in the market due to improper pricing strategies and go-to-market strategies, or go-to-market execution, if I have to say. For any scientist or researcher, I think the greatest joy is when their work really gets translated into products and touches lives. This journey with Azooka has given me that greatest joy. Not only joy, I think entrepreneurship also gives focus to the kind of research that you're doing, because you're focused on building products to solve real problems. I really encourage a lot of scientists and researchers who really believe that their idea can turn into a product to try entrepreneurship, because there's an ecosystem now to support entrepreneurs, and also an ecosystem to support funding, like I've already mentioned, BIRAC, BIG, or these kind of grants can really help you build or take your idea to the POC level. And there are also a lot of scale-up grants that are available, which can really support entrepreneurs in this field.